South Africa have won the Rugby World Cup. The Springboks defeated England 32-12 in the final in Yokohama, Japan. South Africa took an early lead in the first half with Andre Pollard kicking 4 penalties. However, the English side made it tight with their own penalty kicks for a South African 12-6 halftime lead. The Springboks then took control in the second half to win by 32 points to 12.
A silent but powerful protest. Chile's women demanding justice for the 120 people who have been killed in the last 2 weeks and the more than 1,300 others who've been injured. The silent march started off another day of demonstrations on this long weekend in Chile. Demonstrations that quickly escalated as tens of thousands answered social media calls to take to the streets. Clashes soon broke out after security forces tried to disperse protesters with tear gas and water cannon. The central Plaza Italia Square has been the epicenter of the protest movement, a place to gather for people who are angry about low salaries and pensions, poor public health care and education, and a wide gap between the rich and the rest.
It's the dawn of a new era in China. 5G is now commercially available for the first time.
The commercial process of 5G is speeding up, with more than 130,000 5G base stations expected to be open nationwide by the end of the year.
5G is 100 times faster than 4G. 10 million users have already pre-registered for the service, and that number is expected to explode to 170 million within the coming months. Customers in major Chinese cities will be able to seamlessly stream feature-length movies on the go, meaning potential big wins for the video gaming and streaming markets.
Now to Mali, where at least 53 soldiers and 1 civilian have been killed in an attack on a military base in the northeast of the country. It was carried out on an outpost in the Menaka region. So far, no groups claimed responsibility. Now, this is just the latest in a series of attacks in the Sahel region. On September the 30th, 2 Malian military bases were targeted by fighters linked to Al-Qaeda. The government said 38 soldiers were killed, but it's feared that actually more than that died. The violence isn't limited to Mali. Recent attacks have taken place in neighbouring Burkina Faso and in Niger. Groups claiming allegiance to ISIL and Al-Qaeda, as well as Boko Haram, have all contributed to instability across the region. The violence has escalated despite international intervention. With the backing of France, 5 countries have created a 5,000-strong G5 Sahel force to tackle the armed groups.
Iran spends nearly $1 billion a year supporting what the US describes as terrorist groups. That's according to an annual report on terrorism by the US State Department. It says Iran uses its proxies to expand its influence around the world. On the Gulf region, the report paints a mixed picture. It says that despite serious efforts by governments, some individuals and groups are still financing attacks. In particular, it says the UAE government works well with US intelligence agencies, but hasn't done enough to prevent terrorist organizations from exploiting financial loopholes.
Certainly UAE did not succeed entirely in its pledges, did not succeed in its efforts to eradicate terrorism. Certainly it had most of its success in preventing attacks in UAE.
Now, over in Korea, rescue workers found 3 bodies believed to be among the 7 missing people aboard a chopper that crashed near the Dokdo Islets in the East Sea on Thursday. In the early morning hours, the Coast Guard deployed an unmanned undersea vehicle from a Navy submarine salvage ship to search the interior of the sunken chopper. 2 bodies were found outside of the chopper and 1 inside. Some 50 divers have begun operations to recover the bodies and search the waters. A total of 18 ships, including 5 Navy and 5 Coast Guard vessels, were dispatched to the scene to search the area. Authorities are now planning more specific measures to search for others who remain missing and to raise the chopper to the surface.
The Thai cave, where a soccer team was trapped and dramatically rescued last year, is now a hot new tourist destination. Thousands queuing for their chance to step inside the now famous cavern as it officially reopened to the public.
Thousands streamed into the cave from which the young soccer team was desperate to escape in 2018. It is the first time the Thai cave has been open to the public since the world-famous entrapment.
How many of you? 13. Brilliant.
The 12 boys and their coach seemed doomed in June last year when the 10-kilometre long and deep cave network flooded, blocking their only exit.
We are coming. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming.
But thanks to a gripping 2-week international effort, also involving Australian divers Richard Harris and Craig Challen, all were saved.
Well, today I'm announcing that the government is putting a moratorium on any further shale gas exploration for the foreseeable future. And the reason for that is because we have advice from the Oil and Gas Authority, who are one of the world's best regulators for onshore and offshore oil and gas, that tells us that we can no longer be certain of the safety of shale gas exploration, and we don't want to. We always want to be led by the science, and therefore we've decided that we cannot take this further at the time being.
We begin in Quebec, where wind gusts are blowing up to 100 kilometers per hour, and a wind warning is in effect for the southern parts of the province. In Montreal, it's been a challenge for many to stay upright. Hydro-Quebec says more than 980,000 customers are without power across the province. Last night's storm brought heavy rain. It has uprooted trees, damaged properties, and swollen rivers to flood stage.
It's really causing some problems here in Cowansville. I want to show you the Yamaska River. This is the river that flows straight through town. Now, normally this river would flow, would stay behind this concrete barrier here, but you can see that the river has breached and gone onto land. And the problem with that is not only is the current really strong, but it's caused some flooding.
Okay, breaking news is coming in. There's a scuffle that has broken out between lawyers and police outside the Tees Hazari court in Delhi, and the police vehicles have been set ablaze. That's the latest coming in. If we could cut live to those visuals that are coming in from Delhi. Okay, those are the visuals that are flashing across your screens. There is a scuffle. You can see that police vehicle which is being set ablaze as well. This is taking place in Delhi's Tees Hazari court. We don't know the cause of this scuffle as yet, but we do have that particular video that shows you the scuffle that is breaking out. This is happening between lawyers and police.